Let's talk about your face. Not just what you see in the mirror every morning, but what it means in today's world. Your face is more than just your identity. It's become a key, a data point, a way for authorities to track, monitor, and judge you, often without your knowledge or consent. It's now a password you never chose, and ICE is using it to check you on the street. Every time you step outside, your face is scanned, analyzed, and compared to databases you've never even heard of. You don't get to opt in or out. You don't get to change your face like you would a password. It's just there, being used as a tool for surveillance. ICE officers are rolling out an app called Mobile Fortify, a facial recognition tool that scans your face and checks it against a massive government database. This isn't some far-off dystopian future. It's a real app, in real use right now. With just a quick scan, officers can instantly pull up your information, your history, and even your immigration status, all from a phone. Imagine Shazam for people, but instead of a song, it could get you detained. You could be walking to work, meeting friends, or just minding your own business, and suddenly you're flagged by an algorithm. There's no warning, no explanation, just a digital judgment that can change your life in an instant. This isn't sci-fi. It's happening now, in the US, in 2026. The technology is already here, and it's being used in cities across the country. Surveillance cameras, police body cams, and even smartphones are all part of this growing network, quietly watching and recording everything you do. ICE is using this tech anywhere, anytime, turning public spaces into checkpoints and everyone into a potential suspect. No warrant needed. Airports, subways, parks, and city streets are all fair game. You don't have to be doing anything wrong to be watched, questioned, or even detained. The simple act of being in public is enough to put you under the microscope, giving ICE, an agency already criticized for aggressive tactics, a real-time surveillance tool is a recipe for overreach. Civil liberties groups warn that this kind of unchecked power can lead to racial profiling, wrongful detentions, and a climate of fear in immigrant communities. People are already protesting, but the rollout continues, often with little transparency or oversight. The potential for abuse isn't a bug, it's the main feature, and it's spreading fast with almost no public debate. As this technology becomes more common, the line between safety and surveillance blurs. The question isn't just who's being watched, but who gets to decide, and what happens when your face becomes your biggest liability. When ICE scans your face at the airport, it might feel like just another step in a long line of security checks. But what actually happens in that split second is far more significant than most travelers realize. That single snapshot, captured in a blink, is the beginning of a digital journey that can last for years, long after you've collected your bags and left the terminal. That image is instantly transmitted to a massive, highly secure government database, managed by Customs and Border Protection. This isn't just any database, it's a sprawling digital archive that already contains over 200 million images, many of them belonging to ordinary US citizens who have simply traveled abroad. Each new face adds to a growing mosaic of identities, quietly expanding the government's reach. If you've ever traveled internationally, even just once, there's a very good chance your face is already stored in this system. It doesn't matter if you're a frequent flyer or a first-time traveler. Your biometric data is now part of a vast network, linked to your name, your passport, and your movements. Once your face is scanned, that photo isn't just used for a quick identity check and then deleted. Instead, it's stored for up to 15 years, regardless of who you are or why you traveled. This long-term storage means that a fleeting moment at the airport becomes a permanent entry in a government record, accessible for years to come. This digital record of your identity can be used to track your movements, verify your presence, or even connect you to other data points collected over time. It's not just about border security, it's about building a detailed profile of who you are, where you go, and who you might be connected to. Every day, this database grows larger and more sophisticated. New servers are added, more images are uploaded, and the system's ability to recognize and track individuals becomes more powerful. The more data it collects, the harder it becomes to opt out or erase your digital footprint. With every new face added, the technology improves. The algorithms learn, adapt, and become better at identifying anyone, whether it's your friends, your family, or you. The system doesn't forget, and it doesn't discriminate. It simply keeps growing, quietly mapping the faces of an entire nation. In effect, we are constructing a vast surveillance state, one digital snapshot at a time. Each photo, each scan, is another brick in the invisible wall of monitoring that surrounds us, often without our full awareness or consent. Yet, as this system grows, we rarely pause to consider the consequences. We never stop to ask if we should build a world where every face is cataloged, every movement tracked, and privacy becomes a relic of the past. You'd think Congress would have to approve this kind of surveillance, right? They didn't. Congress only allowed facial recognition for border checks, not random street scans, but DHS stretched that limited permission into a nationwide tool operating in a legal gray area. This is classic mission creep, a tool for one purpose quietly repurposed for something far more invasive. There's been no public debate, no hearings, no laws, just agencies making up their own rules. Once this tech is out there, it's almost impossible to roll back. This isn't how democracy is supposed to work. So, can you refuse a street scan? It's a question that's becoming more urgent as facial recognition technology spreads into every corner of public life. Imagine you're walking down a busy city street minding your own business when you notice cameras tracking your every move. You might wonder, do I have a choice? Can I say no to having my face scanned and stored in a database? The answer, unfortunately, is often no. If ICE or another federal agency wants your face, you're required to comply. There's no opt-out, no opportunity to withhold your consent. These encounters aren't about choice, they're about authority. The law gives these agencies the power to demand biometric data, and you're expected to cooperate, whether you're comfortable with it or not. But the rules aren't the same everywhere. At TSA checkpoints and airports, for example, you still have a right to refuse a facial scan. Instead, you can show your government-issued ID and proceed through security the old-fashioned way. This small act of resistance is still protected, at least for now, in certain controlled environments. In these spaces, your ability to say no is recognized, and your consent actually matters. But these exceptions are shrinking as technology advances and policies change. Step outside into the street, though, and that right disappears. On public sidewalks, in parks, or at protests, law enforcement can demand a scan, and you have little recourse. The expectation is compliance, not consent. This creates a confusing two-tiered system, one where your rights depend on where you are and who's asking. In some places, you can assert your autonomy. In others, it's stripped away. The result is a patchwork of rules. Some locations allow you to say no, while others make refusal impossible. It's a system that's hard to navigate and even harder to challenge. And the line between what's optional and what's mandatory is blurring faster than ever. What used to be a clear choice is now a gray area, with new policies and technologies constantly shifting the boundaries. When a federal agent demands a scan, the idea of consent becomes meaningless. You're not really agreeing, you're being compelled, and that distinction matters. Over time, this normalizes the collection of our most personal data without our permission. It sets a precedent that biometric surveillance is just a part of daily life, something we're expected to accept without question. The more we encounter these systems, the more we're conditioned to accept them everywhere. From airports to train stations, from city streets to shopping malls. As facial recognition becomes mandatory in more places, our willingness to question it fades. It starts to feel normal, even inevitable. The less we notice, the less we resist. Surveillance becomes invisible, and our sense of agency erodes. Soon, refusing won't feel like an option at all. The pressure to comply will be so strong that most people won't even consider saying no. That's the goal of these systems. To make facial recognition so common, so routine, that resistance disappears. When surveillance is everywhere, the idea of opting out becomes unthinkable. And that's how saying no becomes impossible. Not because the law changed overnight, but because we stopped believing we had a choice. You'd hope this tech would at least be accurate. It's not. Especially for black people, and black women in particular. Studies show facial recognition is up to 34% less accurate for darker-skinned women than for white men. That's not a glitch, it's a built-in bias. This leads to wrongful arrests and detentions, especially for people of color. A flawed algorithm can put innocent people into the immigration system with devastating consequences. This isn't just a technical issue, it's a civil rights crisis. The harms of this system fall hardest on those already most marginalized. Deploying biased tech is discriminatory by design. The consequences are predictable and dangerous. With all these risks, you'd expect strong rules to protect us. For a moment, DHS had a directive test for bias, offer opt-outs for non-law enforcement scans. But just months later, they scrapped those protections. No more bias testing, no more opt-outs. The rules vanished overnight, with no public input. This is the danger of letting agencies police themselves. Protections can disappear at any time. Without laws, we're at the mercy of shifting internal policies. DHS's quick reversal shows how fragile our rights are in their hands. We need real, lasting legal safeguards, not empty promises. Want to see the future? Look at the TSA. Right now, you can opt out of facial scans at airports, but the TSA wants more. Their roadmap envisions real-time identity checks, linking your face to government databases. Today it's optional, tomorrow it could be mandatory everywhere. Each step seems small, but together they lead to constant passive surveillance. These systems start as convenient and optional, but quickly become the norm. By the time we realize what we've lost, privacy, anonymity, it may be too late. The TSA's plan is a blueprint for a scanned society. The scariest part? Facial recognition can happen without your knowledge. Unlike fingerprints or pins, you don't have to do anything, just exist in public. Cameras in stores, on streets, or in officers' hands can scan you passively. This enables mass surveillance on a scale we've never seen. Private companies are already using it, often with little or no notice. You can be tracked, cataloged, even put on a watch list, just for buying groceries. The idea of anonymity in public is vanishing. Constant invisible surveillance chills free expression and protest. It's easy to feel powerless, but your resistance matters. Every time you refuse an optional scan, you're voting against this future. Agencies watch adoption rates. High compliance encourages expansion. But if enough people say no, it slows the system, makes it costlier, and signals public resistance. Mass refusal is non-violent protest that disrupts the surveillance machine. Your no denies them the data they need to grow. Your face is your identity. Protecting it is worth the effort. Next time you see a scanner, remember, you have a choice. Say no. Be the wrench. If enough of us resist, we can slow, and maybe even stop this machine.